Hebrews chapter 6, verses 19 and 20 read, "This hope we have as an anchor of the soul, a hope both sure and steadfast, and one which enters within the veil, where Jesus has entered as a forerunner for us, having become a high priest forever according to the order of Melchizedek." Proper anchoring is necessary for us to have confidence in life. Welcome to Presentation, Ponder, Practice. When preparing to anchor, one needs to have knowledge of the type of anchor and the anchor cables to be used, and how an anchor works efficiently. The type and size of an anchor to be used is determined by the area in which it will be used. A Bruce anchor has a good power to weight ratio, is easy to handle, and holds well in mud, sand, and rock. A CQR or plow anchor has good power to weight ratio, stows well on a bow roller, but is awkward on deck. The plow holds well in mud and sand. This is a very popular and reliable anchor. A delta anchor has good power to weight ratio, is shaped similar to the plow, and stows well on a bow roller. A Danforth anchor stows flat, is a good kedge anchor or small anchor used in moving a ship by a line attached to the anchor. The Danforth is hard to break out of the mud, is an excellent backup anchor, but is prone to pull out if the wind or current reverses. A fisherman's anchor is known as the traditional anchor. It is good for rocky or heavy weeded seedbeds, but it is heavy, awkward, and not so good in sand and mud. The anchor cables are either chain, rope, or both. An all-rope cable is lighter and easier to manage, but less secure and prone to chafing. A chain is stronger and won't chafe in the water, but is harder to pull in. The solution is to have the anchor cable consist of part chain lying in the waterbeds and part rope to make it more workable. If you really need things to be made easier, use a winch. To work efficiently, the vessel's pull on its cable must be parallel with the bottom of the body of water. Otherwise, the anchor will break out from the mud, sand, rock, or weeds and drag the vessel. The weight of the chain prevents an unpleasant situation by providing the sufficient length of chain to lie on the sea bottom. A shock-safe guard between the boat and the anchor, called a catenary curve, provides a shock absorber. If the boat is hit by an unexpected gust of wind, the cable can straighten and tighten before it pulls hard on the anchor. To determine the length of cable needed, the type of cable, the depth of water, and the weather conditions are factored. A ratio consistent with the length of chain or rope to depth of water determines how long the cable needs to be. In calm weather conditions, the length of cable should be 3-to-1 for a chain or 5-to-1 for a rope. In light to moderate conditions, it is generally accepted that 5-to-1 should be used for a chain and 8-to-1 for rope. In worsening conditions, 8-to-1 is advised for a chain and 10-to-1 for a rope. Choosing a place to anchor is another consideration. There are designated places for anchorages. A spot sheltered from wind and waves in as many wind directions as possible is ideal. The type of ground, depth of water, and position are matters to consider. The anchor of our soul is hope. A hope both sure and steadfast. Our hope is properly anchored for any weather condition of life. The anchorage of our hope, or area suitable for anchoring is within the veil where Jesus has entered as a forerunner for us, having become a high priest forever. God promised to bless Abraham, and he did. Hebrews chapter 6, verses 13 through 15. God promised to bless us, and he will. Hebrews chapter 6, verses 16 through 18. Jesus serves as high priest forever, allowing us to confidently draw near to God as we put our hope in Christ's work as the forerunner for us. Hebrews 6, verses 19 and 20. Will our anchor hold? Christ will. God will. Will our anchor hold in the storms? Yes, if we are anchored by hope to Christ and God. May God bless you as you prepare to anchor.